Hi, and welcome back to the Studio of Art by Wendy. Today, I have an interesting new world actually to share with you. Well, it was new to me, but it may not be new to you. I think it's one of the best kept secrets that mixed media artists have, and that is the concept of collage fodder. Fodder is a collection of things. By things, I mean anything that you can use to make a collage. And you're going to say right away, oh, but I'm not a collage artist. I don't do mixed media. You know what? I'm not really either. But I did find that there's a lot of really fun things involved with this collage fodder that the rest of us are missing out in. Here's an example of what you can do and how you can use it, and how it can actually enrich your work. In fact, I think anybody that wants to improve their watercolor work should try making some collage fodder. And here's why. First of all, you draw some nice little things. In my case, I happen to be on a mushroom theme right now, so I drew some mushrooms. And I went online and found all these different kinds of mushrooms. They seem to have their own little personalities. And I just grabbed a piece of watercolor paper, and as you can see, it's just scrap paper. And we all have lots of that, bits and pieces of paper. So I started drawing some different shapes of mushrooms, and then I started to paint them. And that's when I really understood what was going on. Because when you start painting, then you start trying different colors and different combinations and doing some experiments and practicing some glazing, some lifting, dropping color wet onto wet, and seeing what happens. And the beauty of it is, it's just a small little sample, so it doesn't take very long, and you can quickly just drop that color in, do that little shadow, add something, add the little color. And you start to get another sense of what you can do. Combinations of color that I've never done before, I gave them a try to see what happened. I tried glazing over top of different things. When I wasn't happy with something, I just glazed over it again, lifted something off, played with it a bit. And I found it was really interesting to see what was happening, and it really did force me to try some new things. So that's the first thing that I found that was kind of interesting about that. Now, making collage fodder is fun, as you can see. You get to paint all these little colors, but don't forget to do some shadows. And that was another surprise for me. I tried using different colors for shadows. I found some things I liked and some things I didn't like. I also found that with certain colors, I preferred a certain kind of shadow. So it became a little bit of an adventure for me to do things like that. Once you finish painting your collage material, then what you need to do is pull out those pens you've never used or you thought you might like, some of those colored pencils, anything that you've marked making that you have that you really haven't used that much of, and give it a whirl. Some of the colored pens that I have, I hardly ever use. I seem to always use black. So I kind of forced myself to pull out some of the other colors and just try some things with them. I found that actually the blue looked really nice with some of the stuff, and the sepia pen I really enjoyed using. Not only that, and this is the really fun thing, is take a white marker and add some little touches to really dress up your mushrooms and give them some shape, or flowers or leaves, or whatever it is that you decide to make your fodder out of. It's lots of fun to just play with some of this stuff and add little tidbits to it. Of course, once you've got it decorated and ready to go, you want to cut it out, because now it's going to be fun to use it. So cut out your fodder and get it all organized and ready. I got mine cut out, and scissors were pretty good, but of course, for the fiddly stuff, you need to use an X-Acto knife. One of the things to think about when you're making your fodder is to always make 2 or 3 pieces that are the similar colors so that you can use them together in something. And again, that color coordination thing comes to mind. So get your fodder together and then you're ready for the final step. Well, you've made your fodder, and now what do you do with it? You're not really a collage artist, but actually I didn't think I was either. But I did find I used it. One of the things, you can just use it to decorate one of your little journal. You have journal pages. These little guys I put on after, but had I put them on before, I would have put 2 here, and then I would have put a big guy down here to write around. And I have to laugh too, because this little guy here wasn't happy with him when I painted him. But by the time I put decorations and little bits of things at him, I kind of liked him in the end. So yeah, decorate some of your journal pages, any kind of page, your calendar, your grocery lists, whatever. Another thing you can do is just do a little collage page. This was one I did with a couple of, there's one of my big mushrooms, a couple of little guys. I even started ripping up some paper and putting that in and adding some color. It was kind of fun. I enjoyed that too. And, it's really given me another look at color and ways of combining it. I just finished making a new sketchbook. I like to make sketchbooks too. It's kind of fun to do that. And as you noticed, I used some of my mushrooms, drew some on, glued some on, and did some mushrooms for my cover. And I'm really looking forward to working in this book here, brand new craft book. So that's another thing I do with them. And how to store them. Well, one of the things you can do is just buy these little photo books at the dollar store, for that matter, and put some of your mushrooms in there. The other thing you can do is take out some of those pages and then and glue them. Like what I'm going to do is glue this to the back page of my little sketchbook here. And then I can put some of this fodder in there. And then if I'm out doing somewhere and I want something that I can work with, I can just take it out of my little envelope, slap it on the page, and get going. In the meantime, I can kind of store them in here. And I like this because you can put them in and you can see what's in there. And I can tell you right now, if you go online and start looking, you'll see that some people have books and books of just fodder. And, when I first saw it, I thought, oh, that's kind of weird, but actually it isn't. It's really fun, and it's nice to have these little things around and have them to do things with. Well, one thing you have to watch is keep the book the right side up or they'll slip out. But it is kind of nice, as you can see, to be able to look in and see what you have. I wanted to make another point just about the pens that I used. The Pigma pens do come in groups of colors, and it's kind of nice. I think they have color packs, and they're all on the same kind of palette. So this happens to be the forest or harvest pack that I have here, and it's got the blues and the greens, sepia. 2 pens that I find nice, and that is my frustration, is finding something that's white, really white, that you can draw on your things. These Molitor pens work pretty good, but you do have to watch them. I find they dry up quite easily. And this is a Uniball pen that I got. Signal Broad Uniball. It seems to work pretty good. You do have to make sure that watercolor is good and dry, though, before you can write on it. Anyway, who knows? Maybe you'll turn into a collage artist, but maybe not. But in the meantime, you'll certainly have fun making some of this fodder and using it, actually. So have a good day. Wendy teaches outdoor sketching classes in the summer, and she teaches in her studio and online throughout the year. Wendy produces original work in pencil and in watercolor. She completes commission work, particularly pet portraits, and produces cards and prints from some of her work.